truck at all times. And secondly, please make sure they remain seated throughout the entirety of our trip around the reserve. If you look above you, there is an animal spotting guide. Some of the animals you'll see out there around the reserve today. Now, speaking of those animals, that we are going to be guests in their homes today, so I do kindly ask, in order to keep respectful of these animals, that we keep any loud noises down to a minimum. That includes any sort of animal sounds or whistling that anyone might make. But without further ado, let's go out on our safari. Now, this very first part of our reserve is called the Little Ituri Forest. And the first animal on the left side is to see the saddle-billed stork making its way behind the bamboo up here on the left. Now, the saddle-billed stork is a solitary bird, means they hang out by themselves for a majority of their life. But once they find their perfect match, they will stay together for the rest of their lives. Yeah, I think so too. Up on the right side, kind of toward the back there on the left, that is the okapi. Now, the okapi is a close relative of the giraffe, despite looking a little bit like a zebra. Now, it has two key similarities to the giraffe. Firstly is its pointed skull structure, and secondly is going to be its long prehensile tongue. Now, it's going to use that tongue to reach out, grab, and pull leaves off of trees. Now, on the right side, this greater kudu is going to be looking right at us here. Now, the greater kudu is one of the tallest of the antelope species. Now, this is a female kudu, as she doesn't have any horns. Only the male kudu will be able to grow those horns, much like a majority of most antelope. Now, across the river here, we're going to actually stop for this black rhino. Now, the black rhino is one of the rarest of the rhinos left today. There's only about 5,500 left on Earth. Now, they can grow to be as large as 3,000 pounds.
I get it.
Now, that horn that's on the tip of the rhino's nose, those are made out of keratin, and that's the same stuff our fingernails are made out of. Up on the right, to the top of the hill, those two antelope are bongos. Now, both male and female bongos can grow horns. Now, as I mentioned, that is relatively rare as far as antelopes go, for both male and female to be able to both have those horns. They're also known as the ghosts of the forest, as they are so rarely seen out in the wild. Their neutral brown colors allow them to be able to blend in with their surroundings, whether it be the forest trees around them, the clay walls, or even the dirt and leaves. Now, that just about does it for our forest today. As we head out into the Safi River area, we're going to find some of our aquatic animals. Side, those are going to be some of our Nile hippos. I'm hoping we get to see some up ahead, as this is a bit of a blind spot for most of us, so we are going to make sure we're sitting down at all times, because I'm thinking we'll see some up ahead. But up on the right side here, these are pink-backed pelicans. Now, they're going to get their names because during mating season, their backs will actually turn a nice light shade of pink. And I like to think that means that they're blushing, and sure enough, here they are on the left side. Now, a group of hippos is called a bloat. And a hippo can hold its breath underwater for up to 9 minutes at a time without coming back up for air. Additionally, hippos can fall asleep underwater, and that's not a problem for them, as they can come back up for air without waking themselves back up. Now, hippos are very territorial, very protective of their loved ones and their habitat around them. Now, this, with their massive teeth and their very strong jaws that can snap closed at a moment's notice, make them one of the most dangerous animals in the world. Even though the hippo is an herbivore, which means it only eats plants and vegetables. On the left side, these are Nile crocodile.
We see stuff like that every day.
Now, these crocs are quite intimidating, but they are going to be very, very careful parents, watching after their little ones very carefully. And that starts while their babies are still in their eggs. They're going to keep those eggs of theirs warm by rolling them around in their mouth using their tongue. Now, once that baby croc hatches, if anything gets too close for comfort, that parent crocodile is going to open their mouth and the little one will crawl right back inside. Additionally, that parent croc has a flap near the back of their throat that will actually close, and that'll prevent it from swallowing its baby alive. Now, on the right inside this little opening here, this is going to be the baobab tree. The baobab can stay leafless or bare for up to 9 months out of the year. It retains so much water during the rainy season that animals can walk right up to that tree and drink the water straight out of its trunk. It's for that reason the baobab tree itself the nickname the tree of life. Now as we head down the hill here, we're crossing into the largest part of our reserve. This is the savannah. Now first on the right side, these are Maasai giraffe. They can grow to be as large as 18 to 20 feet tall. And as a baby, the giraffe will be born at up to 6 feet tall. Now, right here in the middle, these are sable antelope. Now, the sable antelope are symbols of bravery. They're going to use those long curved horns as a great source of defense. So if a predator were to ever jump on their backs, they'll use those long horns and buck their head backwards, getting that animal that jumped on them off as quickly as possible. Ooh, on the left side, we're going to see a lot of our painted dogs out today. I'm actually going to go further up ahead so we can get a nice view. Now, the painted dogs, you can see them in the cave here on the left side, and they're also kind of laying down up toward the right area up there as well.
That's kind of
now, they might look cute and cuddly, but I can assure you they're some of the fiercest of hunters out here on our reserve. They have a success rate while hunting of well over 90%. Now, on the right, these are Ankoli cattle. Now, these Ankoli cattle are going to be the first of only 2 domesticated animals on our entire reserve. We are just going to hang out right here while this guy up ahead crosses the street up there, as these animals do have the right of way. Now, the Ankoli cattle does have massive horns, but they are actually rather hollow on the inside, and they're going to be packed filled with red blood cells. Now, they're going to circulate throughout those horns of theirs, and it'll help to keep them warm if it's ever too cold outside for them. Now, as I mentioned about these giraffe, baby giraffe are born at 6 feet tall. Now, since a mama giraffe gives birth standing up, that's going to be a 6-foot drop straight to the ground at the beginning of life. Not to worry though, because that baby giraffe will be up and running within an hour of being born. Now, these zebra up ahead, these are Hartman's mountain zebra. And there is an age-old question of what color is the zebra actually? But we can actually tell by looking at its nose. And since these zebras do have a black nose, they are black with white stripes. And that will work with any other zebra you might see. So if you do get a good look at one of the zebra, whether it be at another zoo or a reserve, or if you look at pictures of one online, you should be able to tell exactly what color that zebra might be. Now, a group of giraffe is actually called a tower of giraffe. I think it's a pretty fitting name for them. Now, up on the left side here, these are wildebeests. They're going to be hanging out underneath the trees here. And there's another one on the right side for my friends on the right as well. Now, the wildebeest is the second most densely packed mammal on Earth. Do you have any guesses? What is the #1 most densely packed mammal? Humans, absolutely right, human beings. And if any of us have ever spent Christmas Day at Magic Kingdom, I think you know what I'm talking about. Now, those little antelope there on the right side, those are springbok. They're amazing jumpers. They can actually jump 6 feet into the air while standing still. It's an action called promping. Now, if you were to give them a running start, the springbok can leap 13 feet forward. Now, if you might have noticed, any of our giraffe here are going to be most likely eating at any given time, and if they're not actively munching on leaves, they're searching for more leaves to eat. As on average, the giraffe eats about 20 hours every single day. They really are eating all day long. And as such, they only need 30 minutes of sleep every single day. Now that 30 minutes is not done in one sitting. They'll actually break it up throughout different areas throughout the day, sleeping for as little as a couple of seconds at a time to as much as a few minutes. just enough energy to keep themselves eating throughout the day. Up on the left side, we do have some African elephants. Now, these African elephants, we're going to tell exactly what kind of elephants they are, because if you look at their ears are shaped in the continent of Africa. And they're going to flap those ears back and forth against their body, creating so much wind that even on the hottest of days, they can cool themselves down up to 10 degrees just by flapping those ears. Friends, on the left side, take a pretty good look to the left and you'll be able to get a nice picture across the water of this elephant currently in the middle of breakfast there. Now, there are only two currently recognized species of elephants. Firstly is the African elephant, which we have here, and the second is the Asian elephant. And if you ever look at a picture of an Asian elephant online, they also have ears that are shaped like the continent of Asia. Unfortunately, we don't have any Asian elephants here at Animal Kingdom, though. Up on the left side here, these are greater flamingo, and they're the largest of the flamingo species, in addition to being one of the lightest shades of pink. Now, they're pulling that lovely pink color from their diet, consisting mainly of brined shrimp. Now that they're eating so much of that shrimp, which has a great source of beta carotene, they're really bringing a new meaning to the phrase, you are what you eat. So the white flamingo you see here, these are going to be the younger ones. They're no more than about a year old at most. If you give them another 6 months or so, they should turn just as pink as the others. Now, this pile of mud on the left side is called a mud wallow. It's actually going to be created by many of our rhinos. Now, the rhino has very sensitive skin, and they're very, very prone to getting sunburned. So what they will do is they'll roll around in the mud, and that mud will act as a very natural sunscreen for the rhino. Also help protect them from insects as well. Now, this is cheetah territory, so we're going to keep a good eye out, see if we're able to spot any of these cheetahs out today. Now, the cheetah is the world's fastest land mammal, going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat. Oh, there's one just between the two trees up there.
Yep, right up there.
Look at that. Now, they are daytime predators, so to help them while they hunt, they have these black teardrop stripes underneath their eyes. That's going to help reflect the sunlight away from their face. Now, the world's fastest cheetah was clocked in as fast as 75 miles per hour. This truck only goes 8 miles an hour. So we should get out of here. Just in case. Never mind. Ooh, I'm gonna be quiet for a couple seconds. The lions are roaring. Now, lions are nighttime predators. They will sleep for a majority of the day. And at night is when they're going to be much more active and alert. Now, when the lions are roaring, the roar can be heard from up to 6 miles away when they're roaring at full capacity. Now, my friends on the right, we're going to see them in just a couple of seconds, but those are white rhinos. They can grow to be as large as 5,000 pounds. That's a literal ton heavier than the black rhino we saw earlier today. Now, female lions will do a majority of the hunting on behalf of the pride, whereas male lions will hang out back at the rocks, watching over the little ones, protecting them from any other oncoming predators, and that includes other lions looking to take over their rocks. He has just followed us around today. We're getting some great pictures, I hope, today. Alright, we're going to keep on going here. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was a baby lion and other lions were coming to attack my pride, I would be pretty scarred. Thank you. I'll be here all day. Now, unfortunately, our warthogs are not out today, but these are burrows that are going to be created by our warthogs. They're going to dig their tusks flat into the sides of these hills here, creating burrows, and that's what the warthog calls home. Now, a group of rhino is called a crash, and this is kind of true because they don't have the best eyesight. Their eyes are going to be on either side of their skull, pointed outward. And with their long horn right in front of their face, this makes it a little bit of a blind spot. They're going to make up for this, though, with their amazing sense of hearing. Those ears are going to swivel on top of their heads like a satellite. That's going to help tell them what is around them while they walk forward. So if you're ever on the safari and you ever see those rhinos with their ears kind of swinging around, that means they're just hearing you guys and they're trying to figure out how far away they are from us. Their depth perception is not very good, but they are very, very good at getting around just by using their ears. Now, this final area of our reserve is called Magadi Glen. This is where the Warden's Outpost is located. Now, our goats are out and about today. These are Nigerian dwarf goats. They're the second of 2 domesticated animals on our reserve. Now, they're very playful in nature, and they have multiple stomachs, kind of similar to a dairy cow. So they're able to eat and process a lot of food every single day. Now, if you want to get up close and personal with those goats, there is a petting zoo over at Rafiki's Planet Watch. You can go pet those goats alongside some llamas and other farm livestock. Now, the first train to Rafiki's Planet Watch is at 9:30. Just about 8 minutes from now. What perfect timing. So if you want to head on over there, I do recommend doing that sooner rather than later, as Rafiki's Planet Watch does close earlier than the rest of the park. I believe the last train today leaves from Rafiki's Planet Watch at 6:30 today. So do make sure you keep that in mind as you head on over there. Now, nothing here in Animal Kingdom would be quite possible without the conservational efforts both here in Florida and around the world. If you do find yourself more interested in learning about conservation, my recommendation to you is give it a quick Google search. There's so much people to learn and be able to help out with, whether it be around the world or maybe even something closer to home. And if you're not sure where to start, feel free to start small. Anything as little as turning off the water while brushing your teeth. These small efforts will build up to make a large, lasting impact. Alright folks, now here in Harambe we don't like to say goodbye as it's far too sad and much too final. So instead we say Kwaherini. And that